I tried to do eyeliner today. Yeah, look how that went. Not very well. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Kiya Boyd and welcome back to my channel. Nice to see you all again. So I wanted to make another video today talking about being Black in Korea. But this time, I'm going to kind of go further and elaborate on a few things. So first of all, for all those wonderful comments that were kind of encouraging and were kind of like, oh my goodness, like that's what it's like to be black in Korea. Yeah, that is what it's like to be Black in Korea from like the last video that I made about being Black in Korea. I am just kind of gonna go into some things for those people that like really took it to heart and think like I meant like don't come to Korea or I was speaking negatively. No, that's not true at all. Korea's a great place to live. I love living here. People love to tell you like go back home. Like,
if you don't like Korea, why are you staying there? You just gotta make a negative video. Why are you still living in Korea? Oh my goodness, black girls, black people just go there just so they can make videos talking negatively about racism in Korea and stuff like that.
Guess what? I'm Black. So that's not gonna be a subject I'm going to be able to avoid all the freaking time. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything for anybody. I'm very outspoken and honest about a lot of different things that I go through, and just so you guys know, it's my experience. It's not to say like I deal with like racism and things like that all the time in Korea, because that's not true. I'm only here to tell the truth, and I'm here to tell my truth and my experiences. I love living in Korea, and I freaking love being Black here. I love being Black in Korea, and you wanna know why? It's because I'm different, and I never realized growing up like how much of a blessing it is to be different. And I don't just mean being African American, but being myself and not giving a crap about what people think. So yeah, that does like kind of make me stand out and make me different. For that, I'm like actually grateful to Korea because it helped me find myself. I can honestly say Korea really did play a big part in helping me figure out who I am and realizing who I want to be. And it made me like love my Blackness and love everything about like me. Little background story. So growing up, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is a place where there were not a lot of white Caucasian people living there. And I grew up in an all-Black neighborhood, went to Black schools, different things like that. So I was that weird kid that liked, like, I don't know, some kind of pop rock music, different kinds of stuff. Like I was like super into like what we consider like white people kind of culture or whatever we want to call it. But I was into like different stuff, different from what a normal Black kid is expected to be into. So I got bullied a lot. I got bullied for as long as I can remember, even all the way up until like high school. And I ended up moving to like the suburbs with my family. I started going to like all white schools, virtually all white schools. And I still didn't fit in. I was getting bullied there because, well, hey, I'm Black. So it was like I never fit in anywhere. I feel like I was struggling with like some kind of identity crisis. I was having that and not really knowing where my place was and what my actual identity was based on my skin color, because it felt like the Black people didn't accept me and the white people didn't accept me. So it was like, where do I go? Most of my whole life, I was just kind of like, okay. I did not know who I was. So coming to Korea and like having all these people look at me kind of make me get it in my head like, hey, you're Black. You're a Black person, you're a Black female. And I'm also a foreigner, yes, but it did really spark a lot of different like feelings in me. And I'm just like, wow, I'm in a place where I completely don't fit in, don't look like anyone here. And yet I have to make my life here. I don't have to, but I want it to. And I have to make it work for me and be comfortable. And how am I gonna do that? So just me walking around, the way people treated me, the way people looked at me because, you know, I'm Black. So they were just like always staring at me, saying stereotypical Black phrases and different things like that. I would hear the N-word thrown around like randomly, and I'm like, I know they didn't just say that in front of my face. It was things like that that kind of really helped me like wake up and say, I need to embrace my Blackness, and I need to kind of like, I need to study more about my Blackness and like my heritage and things about myself. So that's what I did. Learned so much in all of this journey of living in South Korea. So yeah, like I was saying, being different here, it's a blessing, regardless of any racism or prejudice I deal with. I love it. And like living here, it's also helped me develop like way tougher skin, because I remember being back home and I can honestly say like the racist situations and prejudice situations that happen back home compared to how they happen in Korea aren't as insulting. They're not as insulting as they were back in the US, because There, I don't know, it's just a different kind of feeling. But here, I learned to get stronger based off of these like experiences and different things like that. I like living in Korea, and I really like Korean people. Like as far as like whenever I have to interact and do different things here. So feeling pretty good about myself these days. We know like racism, colorism, prejudice, all these things are still a thing in Korea, especially the colorism, but we're not gonna go into that. All I know is if I deal with it from time to time, I'm just like brushing it off my shoulders because I've been hearing it my whole life. So why am I surprised now? Because I've had some really terrible run-ins with Korean people, some really good ones as well. I just take everything with a grain of salt. People will sometimes like be like, all Korean people are this or all Korean people are that. That is not true. Like it's definitely a case-by-case situation. Just because some people might have dealt with like racist situations or prejudice situations doesn't mean other people haven't or have. It's just kind of like, don't take away from other people's experiences just because you haven't experienced it or you have experienced it. Everybody's different. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So what do I do about the staring? Like what do I do about people looking at me and, you know, probably having their own like stereotypes and things like that? I let them do that. What's like, it's at this point, like, can you really be like, don't look at me, like, don't stare at me? People are curious, and with the more foreigners that are like coming in every year, it would seem, you know, you would think that they would be like a lot less interested and kind of like nonchalant. And I feel like as a black person here, I kind of have to like set a standard. Like if you're a black person living here, in a way, we're setting a standard or an example for Korean people, or not just Korean people, but like foreigners here in general, like from different countries. We're setting kind of like the example, who we are as a race, a culture, and things like that. So things like that really make me kind of watch my actions, and it kind of makes me like want to do better, not just for myself, but for my culture and my race. I just want to set a good image, but I want them to see the good aspects of, you know, black people. So for them same people that be all up in my business all the time wondering, why don't you just go back to America? I'm not. I'm in Korea. If I decide to go back to America, I'll let you know, but no, I'm in Korea. If you guys are like coming to Korea and you're probably like, I'm scared because like, you know, what if I don't see a lot of black women? Or what if I don't see a lot of black people in general? There's been more and more black people coming to Korea ever since I set footing here in 2015. It makes me happy to see other people who look like me. That's freaking cool, right? So if you're coming to Korea and you're kind of worried about like how are you going to make friends and different things like that, it would be a good idea to join Facebook groups or, you know, go to meetups, different things like that before you come. And then it's like when I'm walking down the street and I see people with like dreadlocks and like hip-hop clothes or whatever, like I don't really know how I feel about that because it just feels, it looks a little weird because I'm kind of used to seeing that stuff on black people. I'll also say imitation is the greatest form of flattery when it comes to like black culture. The whole world is inspired by it. A lot of different like cultures like take from black culture and try to recreate it or imitate it and things like that. They definitely are heavily inspired by black culture and hip-hop and different things like that. Over the last few years, there's been so many like hip-hop bars, clubs, all kinds of places just popping up all over the place in Korea. I want Korean people to like black culture, but not overly fetishize black culture and even like black women and black guys. So that's that on that. I feel like Korea gets better every day when it comes to like me and my blackness, because I feel like every day I'm learning something new. Honestly, I thought like when I first came, being black would like hinder me from a lot of different opportunities and I wouldn't get looked at the same way that the other foreigners got looked at. But I mean, I look at myself now and I've gotten so many amazing opportunities. I've met so many wonderful people. I've learned so many great things, but for me, it turned out to be one of my outstanding features of myself. I did want to tell you guys, if you're thinking about coming to Korea and your skin is either on my wavelength or darker or whatever, just black in general, please do not let that stop you from like exploring the rest of the world. Please come to Korea and be that example, be that ambassador. You don't have to, but please come to Korea and be set a good example for Korean people to like kind of reference whenever they think of black people. And that's pretty much all I have to say on being black in Korea. I love it. I don't give a crap what nobody got to say about me or the fact that I'm living here. This is what I want to do. This is what I like. And, you know, you just don't have to get over it. because I'm not leaving Korea until I say I'm leaving Korea. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below and tell me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this video, any other video I've ever made. Let me know. Also, don't forget to push the bell. Please push the bell for notifications. I love to see you guys and your wonderful, wonderful comments and views and all this wonderful stuff. So please do that. Thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you guys for watching, for constantly tuning in, and for giving me your love and support. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, guys. That's the best way to get updates on me and to see me fool and clown around when I'm not on YouTube. So hopefully I'll see you guys on my Instagram, and I'll see you guys later. So bye.